Welcome to the Windsor Leadership Intergenerational Insight series, where we explore leadership experience and perspectives across different generations.
Across these 4 episodes, Liz and I will be discussing key themes around leadership, personal growth, and how different generations approach the challenges of today's world.
So Ed and I have had the privilege of speaking with some fantastic guests, including Emma Fitzgerald, Emily Gow, Madeline Thomas, and Bob Story. Each person has brought a unique perspective, sharing their experiences and lessons learned along the way.
Whether you're an established leader, an emerging talent, or just curious about how leadership evolves across generations, this series will provide valuable insights and thought-provoking discussions.
So join us as we explore leadership through different lenses and across generations. Let's get started.
So my name is Emma Fitzgerald, and I've been involved with Windsor Leadership now for 22 years in various different capacities. I'm a triple alumni. I was a trustee for 8 years and more recently a facilitator and a chair. My experience has been very much focused on energy and water sectors. And I now have a portfolio of things that I work on, which includes sitting on the boards of companies and also mentoring and coaching. I am from Gen X.
So Emma, just thinking about being energised in the workplace, what are the things that you find most energising about working with colleagues across generations and perhaps across cultures as well?
Thank you. I've had the privilege over a number of years of working in lots of different cultural environments, and the one that's really energised me the most is working in the developing world. And typically that's because the average age of the employee is considerably younger. So I worked in China for many years, where I was at the time in my mid to late 30s, and the average age of the organisation was 20. And you also had the cultural shift of pre and post-cultural revolution in terms of the impacts. More recently, I sit on the board of a Nigerian energy company, and so there's a significantly bigger gap between me as a board member and the bulk of the organisation. And what I find really energising is the passion and the energy that the employees bring. It's very purpose-led. It's all about energy access and wanting to make their lives and the lives of their countrymen better, and their openness to innovation and thinking differently.
Yeah.
So the key challenge for us is, how do you harness that energy for the good of the company to drive something sustainable? And in some cases, it's about saying, no, we were not going to do that, but it's about being open to what they're saying and thinking about ways that can actually be integrated into the business strategy.
Which must be pretty hard, I would suggest, perhaps, and almost having to swallow your pride maybe sometimes, and thinking, actually, hang on, I've got to listen here.
I mean, definitely about listening and making yourself open to what they're saying and creating the time and the space, because that environment is very pressured and very fast moving. In terms of, there's a different way of doing things, I personally have never really had that issue. I'm personally dyslexic, so I've always had to ask people for help, and that's actually helped me in these sorts of situations to be prepared to listen. Yeah. I think the bigger issue is where it may be that the energy is being focused on something that is really not going to be value adding, and guiding them towards a space where the company can do something with what they're proposing. Yeah. But the energy and the infectious enthusiasm of an organisation like that is really quite compelling.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating actually with many in the younger generation, the whole question around neurodiversity, and actually the massive benefits to an organisation of having a workforce, many of whom are neurodiverse. And any thoughts on that?
I've got a great example actually from a different experience. So I worked for several years with National Grid in the UK, and I ran one of their businesses, which was their gas distribution business. So that's getting gas engineers to leaks when somebody rings up on the 999 and says, I can smell gas. Yeah. And we did a program where we were helping young kids with learning difficulties to be employable. Yeah. So I employed somebody who was extremely autistic in my dispatch centre. So this is where you've got all these jobs coming in, and you've got to work out which order to do them in. And you normally use software or spreadsheets. Yeah. This gentleman could actually do it in his head.
Wow.
I mean, it was the most incredible thing to watch. And for me, starting from where I'm at, we used to have training games, board games, where you were doing the stuff. I couldn't do any of that because of my dyslexia. So to go from where I was to what this person was capable of was really humbling. And he just flourished because he was given an avenue. Again, it's about the focusing of the energy from a different context.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And the value that he must have felt in the workplace as well.
Yeah, he went on to be given a permanent job by the company, and so he's still working with National Grid now.
Fantastic. Emma, thank you. That's been really helpful.
Pleasure.